I need you to animate an equation.
Equation?
Using a 1990s theme.
Okay.
And I need it to loop.
Loop?
Yes.
Okay. I will see what I can do.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing we're gonna need is a reference here. So let's go with 90s design. From the looks of it, we've got a lot of pastel colors and like basic shape, clip art kind of stuff. There's also some basic like grid backgrounds going on, which is actually gonna lend itself really nicely to designing equations. So After Effects, new composition. Let's go 90s equation. Okay, 10 seconds ought to be good. So here's our basic frame. Now what we're gonna want is we're gonna wanna put in the grid first, I think. I think this will be the easy part. First thing we're gonna want is a new solid, and white sounds fine. And then I'm gonna duplicate that and put a grid effect on there. So the color should be black. And we'll go with sliders to make it nice and even. Somewhere around here ought to be, oh yeah, that looks nice. And we're going to want the shape decorations on here. The triangles weren't exactly equilateral or anything. Layer, shape. I'm gonna go with the freehand. So we're gonna put this down here like this, and I'm gonna, ooh. Right. There's a little idiosyncrasy of After Effects. There is the positions of the points in the shape, and there's also the center of the shape layer and the center of the shapes themselves, and it can get real confusing. So right now, if we're rotating it, it's rotating around the point in the center here, which I don't want it to do. I want it to rotate around the center of the shape. And so what I need to do is I need to move the path up to that center point. And then I need to come over here to the transform properties for that shape and move the shape over to where I want it. And then I can rotate the shape.
That feels unnecessarily complicated.
It is complicated, but having all those different settings actually gives you a lot of freedom to design, you know, your scene. It's an unfortunate necessity. We're gonna go ahead and put a drop shadow on this thing. Drop shadow, I can't spell. Let's move the distance a little further in and then maybe change the angle a bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna wanna put a texture on this. How am I gonna do that? Are they like maybe polka dots? Yeah, the randomly positioned dots. You know what, it'll probably look good with evenly spaced as well. Let's see. I'm gonna want another shape layer here. And we're gonna go ahead and put in a circle. We're gonna make it black. It likes to default to ellipse. So I'm gonna come in here and we'll go 1080 just to start so it's even. And then shrink the circle down until it looks like it might be a polka dot. Yeah, 25 looks like it might be okay.
Adorable.
And so then we're gonna stick that up there. And then I'm gonna add a repeater. When it comes to shape layers, the repeater is probably my favorite property to attach to it. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you want to change their positions independently, at which point they all have to be different shapes. But if they're all gonna just sit there or they're all gonna do the same thing, repeater is fantastic. So first of all, I'm gonna repeat, and it defaults to horizontal. We're gonna bring those in just a smidge to say 50, and then I wanna make sure I have enough to cover up the triangle. Okay, so 14 looks good. And then I'm going to add another repeater. And this one, I'm gonna go vertical. And we don't need quite so many. Actually, let's start labeling these things before I get too confused. And so then I need to add a track matte. And it's gonna crop out the polka dot. Oh, the drop shadow is gonna be a problem. I can work with this. For the time being, I'm gonna get rid of the drop shadow on the shapes, and we will figure out the drop shadow later. Let's go squiggle next. I'm gonna add another shape, and let's go ahead and start up here. It's filling in, but I will fix that later. what we want to do here with the shape is we want to add the stroke and get rid of the fill. And the stroke is going to be, where do we think salmon is?
Yeah, I would head down into red.
Right there we go. All right, we're gonna make that a little thicker. It's looking a little wonky. We just need to adjust the points here. Nope, nope, nope. So that's not horrible, although I don't like that it's cut off at the edge. So we're gonna go into the stroke. Round cap should do it. And so we've got a salmon squiggle. And I'm thinking maybe a pink circle, and that probably would do it. Looking kind of 90s. All right, and so now we're gonna fix the drop shadow issue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a pre-comp or precomposition. So I can take the polka dots and the basic shapes and I can pre-compose them. I move all the attributes to the new composition and I'm gonna just call this shapes. So what this does is it puts all of the shapes that I've created inside of an imaginary box. And then I can add effects to the box that won't affect any of the things that I did to the shapes themselves. And now I can drop my drop shadow back in there. There shouldn't be any polka dots on the drop shadow. I'll move the distance out a little bit. Oh yeah, it's nice. And so then I need an equation to be in here. F equals ma. It's about as basic as it gets.
Way to go crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I considered E equals MC squared, but this is gonna require less work. Work smarter, not harder. Get rid of that stroke on the text. All right, and so I think what I actually need is I need a rectangle to kind of be under this. All right, so new layer, shape, and I'm gonna put in a rectangle. These lines around the edge that give it depth, maybe not the best, huh?
It looks like it needs a shave.
Let's take a look. The other font I got, which was what, Nexa Rust? Whoa, 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 whoa.
If you'd like to see our videos a week ahead of time and also gain access to videos from a ton of other creators, go check out Nebula. Link in the description.
It's not bad, it's not bad. So then I need to go back into shapes here for a second. Make sure that I'm centered on my dot. What we have here is a 90s style equation, but I need to what, make a loop?
Correct, you need to make a loop.
If I go in here and I add a trim paths, I can make it look like it's drawing the squiggly line.
The 90s love it when it looks like something's being drawn.
If I want it to loop, I need the end to start at 0, and then maybe at 3 seconds, I'll make it 100%. And then it can stay there, and then I get 7 seconds. I can start the beginning of it, and then the very end here, I can bring it to the end. Okay, so the path should draw, stay, and erase. Boom. So I'm thinking I could probably just rotate the triangles. I could probably just do 0 to 360 degrees. The same thing with the second triangle. All right, so we've got path that draws. I think that should draw faster. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's good. It's good. Yeah, I think this, it loops. It's got the equation in it. It's got the like cliche 90s elements. I think this meets the challenge. Let us know what we should animate next, and thanks for watching.